Hi, and welcome to this episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty, and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the lands and airwaves of Naarm where this conversation takes place. Land which was never ceded. Land where communities came together to eat seasonally, locally and without exhausting resources. I pay my respects to their elders past, present and rising. Today I'm talking to Jae Bang at Freyja. Nordic-inspired Freyja, named for the golden-tiered goddess of Norse mythology, is the glorious two-level restaurant on Collins Street and was the last piece in Soren Trampedach's puzzle to bring people together to work and play in his work club global human ecosystem. It also stands alone as a statement restaurant headed in the kitchen by Michelin star chef Jae. For Jae, the Nordic approach to Australian cuisine that informs Freyja's style isn't just about the food, although he is using traditional and ancient culinary methods such as pickling, curing, smoking, preserving and lacto-fermenting. For Bang, it's also about harnessing the Nordic approach to work-life balance. If you're not sure what that might look like, we do go into it in quite a lot of depth in the following conversation. I first met Jae when I wrote about Freyja in 2022 and then had an incredible degustation in the dining room with its heritage brick walls, vast Gothic cathedral windows and curvaceous slatted timber ceiling, a nod to the boats of Nordic maritime history. This time we went downstairs into one of the quieter meeting spaces and sat at a huge timber table made with boards of an ancient Nordic ship. We talked about work-life balance, food, Jae's absolutely peripatetic and adventurous formation years from Seoul to Osaka to New York to Catalonia to Stavanger and then to Melbourne. We also talked about his upcoming four hands dinner that he and visiting French chef Hugo Souchet will be cooking over 3 nights at Freyja. Hugo is chef de cuisine at Les Prés, which is Michel Guerard's restaurant in Londres in France. That restaurant has retained its 3 Michelin stars since 1977. The pair will put up 6 courses as well as showcasing Sturia Caviar and French champagne Pernet et Pernet. These dinners are next week on the 8th, 9th and 10th of February, so as soon as you've listened to this episode, and not a minute before, jump on the Freyja restaurant site and book your spot. Bon appétit!
All right.
Yeah. Perfect. Thanks, Jae. Thanks for talking to me today, because I know chefs are always super busy and you have a really tight week as well, don't you? Because Freyja's not open at the weekend, or is it?
No, we are.
You are
Saturday
now.
only.
Yeah, Saturday only. That's right. Yeah. So 6 days.
Our operation is 6 days.
Yeah.
We used to close on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, and the reason we started to open on Saturday, only dinner, mainly 2 reasons, because we were getting a lot of requests.
You would?
A lot of requests.
It's so great. When I ate here, it was just so delicious. That
Yeah.
I can see it'd be hard to be a CBD restaurant and not open on Saturday.
And we did for a year, and we enjoyed our moments, of course.
Yes.
But then the second reason mainly was because of our staff.
Okay.
So instead of previously, we used to work 5 days a week, just like most of the restaurants in general. One thing that we have been extremely focused, that I have been mentioning since day one, is
Yes.
that work-life balance. Plus, they do deserve to work, get paid properly, which very often nowadays better.
Yeah.
But previously, our industry has been known for completely opposite side of that.
Yeah.
So our staff only works for 4 days now.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 shifts.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So everyone is off either 3 days in a row or 2 days in 1 day or whatever. So
Yeah.
also depends on rotation wise, right?
That's great.
So it gives them, I think, just in general, like better feeling of life in general, I would say. And I find it very important for long term, because I don't want them to we are very passionate people in general, right? Like all the chefs, you have to be a little bit off in your head, crazy about what you really like to do these things, because first, it's hours very often are crazy,
Yes.
or the intensity of the job, the demands of the physicality, mentality, all these things. And that's why back in the days we were known for, I'm not sure how Australia was, but where I have been trained, New York or European countries, when you look at chefs, they either drink a lot, they're an alcoholic, or they're a drug addict.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we don't want that. The industry has to change, and if we as an employer don't provide the right environment and the atmosphere for our employees, then it will never going to change, right? So that's the main reason why we started to do the 4-day working week thing.
And is that, I guess that must sit well with you personally. Is it a Nordic principle as well?
In a way, yes, definitely. I would say the biggest influence that I've gotten in terms of the cultural side of it and what we have to create in terms of within our workspace, environmentally and sustainability-wise, is very much a human and community focus. Factors are coming from Scandinavian regions. I would really say that. And also during my time over there did made me to think and operate quite differently than how I used to back in the States. In a very positive manner. Well, previously, I would never thought about it, to be honest with you. I would say, okay, we work, we get the job done. If the job is not done in the right way, too bad.
Yeah.
There's no other way to get around. It needs to be done, otherwise there's no other way.
Right.
Doesn't matter how long it takes, what it takes, how hard, none of these matters. But there was very one-way thinking. And eventually it's not good for my mental health as well.
Absolutely, and it's not sustainable, is it?
Absolutely not. The time has changed. We are not here to operate I don't want to set this as an example, but we don't want to operate like back in the 70s and 80s French kitchen. That only person who should speak is the chef. And then their work-life balance doesn't really matter.
That's right.
You work your ass off just to contribute, of course. You want it. You're very hungry. You're young chefs. You just want to get better. You just want to learn more. But for how long?
That's right.
You're burnt out.
Well, physically and mentally as well, and I guess emotionally. How do you keep standing on, standing for hours on end, and how do you, that's right.
Yeah, for sure, I think it's also some to do with the generations, when I was being trained, and a lot of the older generation chefs who have been trained didn't mind that, because we thought it was very normal.
Yeah, there's that toughen up kind of idea, isn't it?
Exactly. And then they were bragging. We used to brag how long we have worked throughout the week. Okay, we work 100 hours a week, 110 hours a week,
Yeah.
But yes, maybe when you are a very young chef for 5 years, 10 years max, you can't do that for forever.
It's interesting because today I was listening to someone who was giving a talk. Well, it was actually an online, he was addressing us, a presentation. His name is Vince Frost, and he has written books about design for life. And I found it a really interesting idea because he's talking about being intentional in your life and having a purpose that you, and personal goals in a way that you have a better, so that you have a better life. So I think it's about, and I feel like that's what happens in this whole kind of group as well, is that it's about people coming to work and having a better time. So it's a good place to come to,
yes.
And it's a healthier relationship with work.
Yeah.
And I think, and And as you say, it's not like the 70s where there's a brigade and a chef that's doing all the shouting and people are scared to come to work and scared to make mistakes. It's about, really living intentionally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also it's like the learning factors that personally that I have been receiving within our company as well.
Yes.
Is that for me at one point I started to hate the word of work and life balance.
Yes.
Because when you think about it realistically, you don't simply just turn your switch on when you're physically at workspace and then turn yourself off when you leave your workspace. So what's the boundary in between your work and life, right? Very often for us as well, work is part of your life, right? And if you want to really completely separate, to have work and life balance, I mean, we are not programmized robots. I mean, when I go home, of course, I still do a lot of work-related stuff, even though I'm not physically there. I'm not talking about checking on my emails and being on a phone call, but at the same time, like what I do or what we do here, it's always some format of connection outside of our physical workspace. And if you want to completely separate that, I'm not sure if that's even possible.
Yeah.
But then if you turn around your thoughts a little bit to different direction, is that, okay, work is part of your life, but then do you have to feel like you're at work?
Yeah, that's right.
You know? We've been trying to really break these boundaries, I think, internally within our restaurant, somehow with different things, which contains a lot of bonding time within our team members, whether it's a leisure purpose or an educational purpose. So we are not asking them to be at work, but we are still doing something that are work related, even though we don't feel like that's part of the work. Then I think this has been helping our staff to, perhaps maybe I have been lucky enough that they've been staying here for a very long term.
I was going to ask you that.
Ever since we have open, we have still a lot of core team members that are still with us.
Yeah.
And they're very happy to be with us until, the right time comes for them. And I think it's very important for not only me, but as our job and having a responsibility to continuously maintain this for our team members, to make them feel that way. Otherwise, what I have been just saying doesn't make any sense if we stop doing that.
Well, it's even interesting to me that you're still here, because there are lots of big name restaurants that open with big name chefs that have come from, Norway or wherever, and they open the restaurant and then they go on to open another restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's, to be honest, I was surprised that you're still here because, you were asked to come, you were headhunted, which is amazing. And I really love that you're still here. I think that's a real testament, I think, to the culture that the group wants to create, but that you've bought into that and you're part of that.
Yeah.
So I guess, how do you... Is that an intention you set every day when you come in here, that there are certain things you do to create that culture, or is it quite natural now, the way...
It is much more natural now.
Yeah.
All our seniors and juniors understand it, and it's extremely important that I'm not the only one who's driving this.
That's right.
Yeah. Definitely not. I can't be only driver. Everyone has to drive.
Yeah.
We don't want passengers in our group. Unfortunately, no. Because at one point they will have to drive. They have to they can only sit at the back to learn how to drive. We will have to give them a key at one point, even though it's a short amount of time for them to be able to function like that.
Yeah.
I think that's, two very big benefits that we get out of it in terms of this sort of system is, one, we are internally growing our talents to become more involved with not only the small decisions, hopefully, but eventually for the big decisions as well. And two, it automatically creates this sort of culture that we are trying to strive since day one. Yeah.
And I'm a little bit fascinated too, because often when you were first described, when you first arrived and you were opening Freyja, people described you as being an accidental chef, that you fell into it.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued by that, because I feel like once you learnt how to be a chef, then you just went and worked in all these really top-end, amazing restaurants, which seems really well planned. So tell me about the accidental bit. How did it start for you?
First I didn't intend to be a chef, as I said. I got a job as a pot washer, make side money. And it ended up, that restaurant ended up being a very good one. Yeah. It was an amazing restaurant, which I didn't know about.
And what were you doing? Were you studying something else? Or?
I was in high school.
Oh, in
back
high
then.
school.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then and I started, and I looked at the energy of it, and I was shocked. When I first thought, okay, I'm just gonna wash some dishes at the restaurant to make some money, I did not expect that level of energy.
Good or bad?
Very good.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was shocked.
And that was in your hometown in Seoul?
Back in Seoul as well. Yeah, and as I said, the level of energy, positive energy, and the dedication was stunning. Like, I was shocked, and I was just sucked into it. And some time later, I asked the chef, I want to learn to cook, and in a way, he kind of laughed at me, like, young child, everyone wants to cook. You think we look cool, but you have no idea.
What kind of food was it?
It was an Italian restaurant.
Okay.
But very, very good restaurant.
Yeah.
I still think that, I would say his certain dishes are still among one of the best ones that I have had. Not just because of my memory point of view, but just simply, if I still think about the details that he was putting into, was just like so much attention. So I got in, and at one point he was showing me how to do all these shitty jobs, peeling onions, peeling garlics, and stuff like that. Then I was really enjoying it. And then I moved on continuously. I got really sucked into it, and it just became, like, without thinking or planning so much, to be honest, it just became almost like permanent. I'm like, okay, maybe this is very cool. Like, I really like it. So maybe I want to continue this. And I continued.
But it's interesting at that point, because at that point it's about the energy, isn't it? Because it's not really about creativity when you're peeling onions and whatnot.
Not at all.
And so it must be something about being part of the team and part of that effort of putting up the food. But it's not creativity at that point.
No, not for me at least.
No.
I was just given the job, and I was doing the job. But then, like, all the given jobs, it doesn't matter if it was a cool job or a shitty job or the job that no chef wants to do. It's just because it's annoying or whatever. It still wasn't new enough for me. And I think I really enjoyed every single moment of it. And I think our team was so great that, in a way, I was very gladful how they were receiving me. Like, okay, this young kid wants to learn. Let me see how dedicated you are. And there is a moment, I think also partially it's cultural thing as well, back home, especially in the kitchen. And they try to test you a lot. They try to, like, really push you to the limit, mentally and physically, purposefully, right? So if you don't handle it, okay, like, you quit, I let you go, we don't care. But then they were waiting for this moment, and I feel like, okay, if you try to break me, try harder. I mean, I was young, snowy, and, like, eager, cocky, and after a certain stage, then I was really, like, being shown and learned a lot from them. And the owner chef said, look, you're young, you're eager, you're healthy, you're not dumb, you're, there's a lot of, well, the way he was describing it, there's a lot of dumb people who's working in the kitchen, but at least you're not on that side, so you want a smarter one. So why don't you try to learn something really, really serious than what we do? I thought it was like, what are you talking about? I thought what we are doing was pretty serious. So I was sent to Osaka, Japan.
Wow.
Of his former colleague, and it was one of the best restaurants by then, back in Osaka. That's how I ended up working with some of the really, really talented chefs. Then
was that Japanese or was it Italian?
No, it was French influenced Japanese.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had 3 Michelin star. They've had 3 Michelin star for a while. Now, ever since he opened, he was just a total maniac. So crazy. Yeah, it was just insane. Just a lot of episodes with the restaurant. How aggressive it was.
Wow.
One thing, but how precise they were.
Yeah.
It was just totally crazy.
So I was going to ask you, what was the takeaway? I mean, obviously, when you say you learned a lot, is that precision, knife skills, flavors as well?
Not only skill set and knowledge side of it, but I think it's a disciplinary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if you're given with if you order one bunch of herb, do you really treat this herb properly? But then it goes to every single ingredients. And when it goes to ingredients, it goes to equipment. Even to your saucing spoon, for example. It goes to every single little thing that you handle, including your staff, customer service, everything. Because if I'm not mistaken, he came from a mechanic background.
Wow.
So his obsession of very small little things were just totally crazy.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah. And then ever since then, okay, I want to work for the best because this is just so cool.
Yeah.
Simply that. That's how rest of my career started.
And then, so you're in New York as well.
Yeah.
And at what point did you do the stage at El Bulli?
That was before New York.
Okay.
Yeah. So before starting my career in New York.
Okay.
So after Japan, I went to New York for school because it's simply I just want to learn with more depth.
Yes.
So I joined the Culinary Institute of America. At one point, after 8 months of school, in the middle of it, I couldn't afford.
Oh.
Yeah, to continue. So I had enough money to fly. Then I was like, okay, maybe I fly to Spain because back then I believe was like easily being considered as a best restaurant in the world.
But a stage, you're not paid?
Stage not paid, and if I'm not mistaken, they were getting over 80,000 CVs of stage a year.
So how do they select? How were you selected?
I didn't get selected.
You didn't?
I showed up.
Good plan.
Yeah, I showed up. It took me 2-3 days.
Okay. They just couldn't get rid of you, so they decided to keep you.
Yeah. I was very lucky. They ignored me, simply. And then what worked, luckily, was that I printed my CV, which I worked at 2 different places, and I dropped out of school at that point with not much to show. But then I printed enough. I really printed enough. I shadowed around the restaurant. Before they were receiving customer, the maintenance person of the restaurant saw it and he flipped on me. And when he flipped on me, because obviously he doesn't care about like what I am, who I am, but I'm just scattering around my CVs. For him, it's just tons of garbage around the restaurant. And Chef Ferran's wife has noticed that, and I think she have spoken to Chef Ran, saying that, yeah, maybe he's a bit crazy one. You might like him.
Yeah.
So he asked me I can start the day after.
Wow. And what was it like? What was the climate in the kitchen?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was absolutely... Well, cuisine-wise, it was only them who were doing such a type of cuisine. Very scientific related, of course.
Yes.
Back then, of course, none of these things tasted like what it looked.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way that I could describe it. The ideas and how they process the idea to make the ideas to be able to serve to a customer, and this entire process of it was just not like a restaurant operation.
Yeah.
It was more like a laboratory operation.
Yeah.
They have a sub-laboratory in Barcelona, and the restaurant opened only 6 months a year, and the rest of the time, the key players with the scientists, they have a laboratory that they revisit the menu for the next season, which for me is like just totally crazy.
Can you remember what you wanted to get out of doing a stage there?
No, I didn't have
You just
much.
thought it was, this is a great restaurant, I want to try it.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to say, but like I was, as I said, I was 20. I just became 20. And simply back then, as a young chef, only thing in my mind was I want to work for the best.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, oh yeah, what do you want to learn from there? Like, doesn't matter. I will learn everything that they do.
Yes.
I would like to learn everything that they do.
Can you learn everything they do?
Yeah.
Can you though? All that lab stuff, can you? What?
The good thing about the stagiaire for the program at Eboli for me was that you are actually responsible for a lot of important roles of the restaurant inside of the kitchen. I think that was the real benefit of it. If you go to certain places as a stage, all they make you to do is, okay, here's a pint of herb, go and pick it into this size, or you clean here, you clean there. It's just like this, just a labor-intensive, non-educational purpose tasks.
Yes.
But for sure, Eboli was on a completely opposite way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long were you there? How long was the stage?
1 season, so 6 months.
6
Yeah,
months.
full 6 months.
How amazing! What an adventure!
Yeah, I think at that point, I think it was like my, emotionally for me, when I think about it now still, I think I would say it was a peak time of my life in general.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, because when you look at even all the stagiaires that were doing the unpaid work for 6 months, these chefs were amazing. They were all so talented chefs that just by standing next to them was like a lot of learning process in general.
Yeah.
How they work, how they peel things, chop things, whatever it is. Not necessarily coming from the restaurant itself, just because of the people there are simply extremely world-class chefs. And as you see, there's so many Elbulia alumni that are running a world-class kitchen nowadays. Still, it's
amazing, isn't it? And so then, did you think New York that's obviously high on your list of destinations of excellent food as well?
Yeah, absolutely. There is something very special about New York. It's just the cultural side of it, in general, of the city, and also it applies to the restaurant industry as well. When I say that New Yorkers are very particular, they're willing to pay if there's something special about it. And the pace of the restaurant operation is just totally crazy. After Emily, I joined the military, which is mandatory for Korean male.
So that's compulsory?
Back to Korea in grocery, yes. Yeah. So I spent time there 2 years, and then I went back to school. After military, I was financially a bit more comfortable. Yeah. And then, I joined. I went back to school, and then once I graduate, I was looking for a job, and then of course I'm studying around. It's very normal in culture over there to do a 1 day stage, and you do that to, of course, find the right job for you, and they have to. Also, the employer has to think that you're the right person for their restaurant as well. Yeah. So it's very normal process, and then of course I went. I think plenty to see where would it be the best place for me. And then I went to restaurant Daniel. As I still remember, as service started, like I thought it was just crazy. There were three-star restaurant, one of the best restaurants in New York. They were serving over 250 people per dinner.
Wow. What? At a 3-star level?
Yeah.
That's so...
250. Like, for me, that's insane. No other restaurant in Europe or in Asia does 250 covers in 3-star level. No one.
Wow.
So the amount of things that you do,
yes,
it's so compacted. Like, we make joke about it. If you worked in New York's great restaurants in New York for a year, that's equivalent to 2+ years of other. No, seriously, because the amount of volume,
yes, okay,
and with that level is just nowhere does that. Wow. There's only few restaurants who does that amount of numbers. One is Danielle, and the other only restaurant that I can think of is Le Bernardin, located in New York as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Just crazy. Can you believe that? 250 covers.
So it's a walk in the park here then. Very easy.
No, I would not say that. No, we had an army there. But still, we had a very, very, very well dedicated army. And it was operating like just a very well oiled and maintained machine.
Yeah.
Just all the training process when you're handing over the station, when you're going around different station to station, just the way everything operates were so well organized. They could maintain the quality.
And what took you to Scandinavia? Very well travelled.
Yeah. So after New York, I moved to after Danielle, I joined the Waldorf Astoria. It's simply, I never thought about. I would never imagine I would join the hotel group. But by then, my wife was pregnant. I'm like, okay. She's also from the industry.
Okay.
And with a great career. So both of us were working like some nonsense hours, of course, which we didn't mind. She was working at 11 Madison Park back then.
Wow.
And I was working at Danielle. Yeah. Somehow she got pregnant. I don't know how that happened. But
is she a chef or front of house?
She's a chef as well. Yeah. She's a pastry chef.
Dinners at your place must be amazing. Or not.
You reckon?
Because you're probably too tired when you get home.
Yeah, I don't cook much at home.
Yeah.
Only on special occasion. But yeah, we do enough.
Yeah.
It's mostly her who owns the kitchen back home. But then we had to think about something that meets our realistic situation. She couldn't work.
Yeah.
Because she had such a bad morning sickness with just, she couldn't stand up any smells and things like that. So it was not possible for her to work in the kitchen anymore. So then I joined the hotel group. And luckily they liked me, they gave me, a big responsibility. And I was taking, of course, the advantage of learning the management side of it.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm very glad that I did. but main purpose of me joining the hotel group at the Waldorf was just because we needed to make more money with the better benefits coming from the company. And then the company went through the big renovation, the entire hotel itself, and then I moved to a same group in California. Oh. Yeah, I was in charge of the restaurants there, which also was a very fun part of it. And I was in contact with my former colleague back in Daniel. He was from Norway, and the restaurant where I moved in Norway called Stavanger, he was from the area, and that's how somehow my name slipped into Svein Erik, who's the owner chef of the Rano restaurant group. And yeah, I got in contact, and I visited the restaurant, and they were very ambitious. They currently had a fine dining restaurant, which they want to bring it up to a complete next level. So all these projects that were aligned on their pipeline was very ambitious, and it sounded a lot of fun. Yeah. So then, yeah, I took the position as a.
So are they ones that grow the food as well, or
no?
Just very really seasonal one.
Yes,
yeah.
It's extremely local.
Okay,
we have our vegetable producer, Freyja from Brimsa Island, and he grows all his product, including farmed and wild, a lot of wild ones. We source it from that particular island. Okay. So twice a week, he load everything on a boat.
Yes.
Come to the coastline of Stavanger with a van, and he delivers it to the city. It's a very small city. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Amazing town.
And your wife went with you?
Yeah. So, everyone. Yeah, me, kids.
Yeah, kids. Wow.
Yeah. Everybody. Whole package.
Yeah. So how did the collaboration with Hugo Souchet come around? Because he's also from a 3-star Michelin restaurant, Les Prés de Génie.
Yeah.
Have you been there? Do you know?
Have not.
I looked at a photo. It looks amazing. It looks like a castle.
It's a chateau.
It's a chateau,
Yeah. It's one of these legendary restaurants. I mean, I started off of the books of Michel Guerard, which is owner chef of the restaurant. He's just, one of the godfather of the French nouvelle cuisine, like Pernet. Yeah. I think they had the 3 Michelin star for over 40 years.
How do you keep 3 stars for 40 years?
That's how they have been maintaining everything and anything.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So he fully took over the restaurant. He's fully in charge of the kitchen operation there. Hugo. Also a Daniel alumni. That's how we are connected.
So we not at the same time? Or?
Same time.
Oh,
same
that's
time.
nice.
We used to work together. Yeah.
And how does this work? Because you've done collaborations or dinners with other chefs. Mm-hmm. What happens? Like obviously he's in France and you're here, so do you just throw around some ideas, or where do you start when you're trying to work together?
So the idea of this particular collaboration came up a bit out of nowhere. Currently at Freyja, we use caviar coming from Sturia Caviar. Yeah. They're located in Bordeaux, France. Mm. And I have been using them since back in Norway as well. So I wanted to continuously use them because I love what they do. Their philosophy behind it, of course, the quality of the product is just a top notch as well. And Guy from Sturia, and Sturia itself, Restaurant Freyja, held an event last year. Just for industry people about caviar, and we talked and we found out, by the way, Hugo also uses our caviar. Uh-huh. I'm like, which Hugo? And I thought you guys were connected. Then I looked up, I'm like, oh my God. And he was like, okay, you know what? Let's try to make something fun. Then it carried on, and it became forehand dinner that we are holding next week.
Yeah. Over 3 nights.
Over 3 nights.
So what's the menu?
We don't know yet.
Oh, how exciting. But definitely caviar is involved.
Oh yeah, big time.
How many courses will you do?
It will be 6 courses that we are planning. Maybe it could be +1. But first the why the menu is not decided is because he's arriving end of this week, Hugo.
Okay.
And we need to see the local product. We need to visit farms and fishing companies, butchers. Yeah. Just so that he understands our product.
That's right.
What we can offer in Victoria.
Yes.
And then we're gonna create a menu according to what's available.
That's much better. I don't even know why I asked, what's the menu. I suppose you could have done it already. But it's better to do that. That's that idea I think that people who aren't chefs have, that you can make a menu, then you go to get your ingredients rather than...
Look at the ingredients
and then create your menu. Yeah.
So we think it makes the most sense. So our marketing team has not been very happy when we mentioned that. I'm like, okay, how do we promote if what's gonna be served? And there's plenty of questions that are being asked by the customers. Yeah. I said, well, too bad. Like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. How can he create a menu without seeing the product?
That's right.
It's more like a guessing game, isn't it? So it doesn't work like that.
No, well, it's a trust in the 3-star Michelin guy who's coming from France and you who've already proved yourself here time and time again. So people would come for that, I think.
Yeah. I think just because their restaurant is not kind of restaurant that are being talked a lot about or very hip or trendy or anything like that. They're very, very typical classic French restaurant who has been extremely doing well at what they have been doing for last decades, right? Yeah. So they're not the most talked about restaurant, but I think people have to understand that in order to maintain that level of service and quality of products for that many years, it's something that the dedication that whoever that have been to that place have put it into to sit where they are, it's enormous.
So will it be more Freyja food or will it be more classic French, or will it be something adjacent?
Some twist. We will create a menu altogether, so there will be a lot of mix, I would say. Yeah.
Fabulous. So what do you want people to what's the experience you want diners to have on that night?
Get full and drunk out of champagne. I think that's what else. Yeah, what else should it be?
Well, that sounds perfect.
Yeah. We were making like a joke about it, low key. French caviar, French champagne, and Pernet is our also another sponsor of this event, French chef. So. A lot of champagne, a lot of caviar, good food, a lot of butter maybe.
Great.
Classic,
I mean, why wouldn't you come?
I would say that.
Sounds amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. What a great chat.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Jae Bang at Freyja. If you liked what you heard, you can check out all the goodness on Instagram at Freyja Melbourne. That's spelled Freyja Melbourne. But also, you might want to have a look at Les Prés as well, which is at LesPresDeugenie. And then, of course, as instructed at the start of this episode, jump on Freyja's website to book a table at the beautiful Four Hands Dinner. If you'd like to hear more stories from other chefs, I'm on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read the chat and become a subscriber at www.conversationwithachef.com. And I would love it if you told a friend about my chats and follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day and bon appetit. Bon appetit.